4 years ago, Kimi Antonelli was in karting, and he had no idea of the racing future in store for him. With the departure of Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, Mercedes needed a driver, and Toto Wolff decided to take the leap of faith and put his trust in this young 18-year-old rookie in a move that is extremely rare in Formula One. So, what is his story so far, and how far can this young driver go? This isn't the first time Kimi has taken a major leap. Mercedes and Toto Wolff have placed immense trust in him throughout his career, often fast-tracking his progression, and he's not just advancing through the junior ranks, he's dominating them. Andrea Kimi Antonelli began his professional racing journey in 2018 at just 12 years old, competing in top-tier karting championships and securing his first major titles. He shares his middle name with the forename of Kimi Räikkönen, the 2007 Formula One World Drivers' Champion, which was given by a family friend to his father, who wanted his son to have a foreign name after Andrea. His father initially wanted him to play football in Italy before entering him into karting, as Antonelli showed more passion for motorsport, and by 2021, he transitioned to single-seaters. In 2022, he raced in the UAE, Italian and German Formula 4 series, winning both the Italian and German championships on his first attempt. He missed out on the UAE title only because he competed in it twice. In 2023, he moved up to Formula Regional, competing in both the Middle Eastern and European series, winning both with a round to spare. Then, in 2024, he skipped Formula 3 entirely, jumping straight from Formula Regional to Formula 2. It was a bold move, but his results proved it was the right one. Now, he's making an even bigger leap, straight from Formula 2 to Mercedes. Typically, young drivers get at least a year with an affiliated team to adapt, learn, and make mistakes. George Russell spent 3 years at Williams before earning his Mercedes seat. Verstappen had a year and a half at Toro Rosso, and Leclerc had a season at Sauber. Antonelli, however, will step into a Mercedes seat immediately. Wherever he races, whatever car he's given, he wins. There's no stopping him. Even Toto Wolff has tested Antonelli's limits, but time and again, the young Italian exceeds expectations. Despite a rough start to his Formula 2 season due to Prema's initial struggles, Kimi has consistently delivered impressive performances. If he's not leading the championship, it's only because his car was behind the competition early on. Antonelli's rise is backed not just by Mercedes and Wolff, but also by his father, Marco Antonelli, a former driver and team manager. Coming from a family deeply rooted in racing, Kimi grew up surrounded by motorsport, with his father running AKM Motorsport, a team competing in various GT categories, Formula 4 and karting. In a recent interview, Marco Antonelli acknowledged his son's strengths and areas for improvement. His weakness, as of now, is that he's not yet ruthless enough in a sporting sense. But his greatest strength is his ability to adapt quickly to any situation and track condition. Mercedes has clearly recognized this ability, which played a key role in their decision to promote him so soon. The reasoning behind this move is complex, but if Toto Wolff made the call, it means he saw something special, something we might not yet understand. And it's not just Wolff. The entire Mercedes team must have noticed Antonelli's potential, particularly during the private tests he completed in 2024. He ran 4 tests at Spielberg, Imola, Spa and Silverstone, in addition to a free practice 1 session at Monza. He likely also spent significant time in the simulator. Reports suggest he impressed in every session, convincing Mercedes that he was ready for Formula One. Rumors indicate that even Peter Bonington, Lewis Hamilton's longtime race engineer, was astonished by Antonelli's performance. With Hamilton leaving for Ferrari, Bono will remain at Mercedes, possibly working with Kimi. There's no doubt that Mercedes is taking a risk with this decision. However, as we mentioned earlier, They are confident they won't overwhelm their young talent. To make such a bold move, they must have seen something truly convincing. Speaking of risks, let's talk about someone who, years ago, chose not to take one. Ferrari. In 2018, when Kimi Antonelli was just 12 years old, Mercedes signed him, but initially, he was racing karts under the Ferrari brand. There were even discussions about bringing him into the Scuderia's academy. But Ferrari's management ultimately declined, believing he was too young. Kimi's father, Marco Antonelli, revealed he was racing under the Ferrari brand when he started in karts. At the time, Massimo Rivola wanted to bring him into the Ferrari Driver Academy, but they felt he was too young to properly evaluate. That was the only contact we had with Ferrari. It would have been a risk for Ferrari, and one they weren't willing to take. But what if they had? Things might have played out differently. Perhaps they would have managed Antonelli's development more cautiously, instead of accelerating his rise, as Mercedes has done. For now, though, Kimi's focus is solely on the present, which means to gradually adapt to Formula One without making huge mistakes. And with the season fast approaching, he is doing exactly that. Even George Russell has shared his thoughts on Antonelli, saying, "I'm excited for the challenge ahead with him. Kimi is an exceptional driver with an impressive junior career. He was always destined for Formula One. His journey reminds me a bit of my own, starting in Formula 3 and working my way up." These words from Russell must mean the world to Kimi, who will have a good mentor in the team, although probably as a second driver in his first seasons. Russell continued, "We've been following his progress closely, watching all his races. We even did a test together at Silverstone a few months ago, which was a great opportunity for him to drive an F1 car. He was incredibly fast, so I have no doubt he'll do an excellent job." From 2025 onward, the same kid who once stood beside Toto Wolff in Monaco will now be sitting in a Mercedes on the F1 grid. Even in the high-stakes world of Grand Prix racing, Antonelli's rise has been astonishingly fast. However, Wolff remains convinced that the raw speed the young Italian has demonstrated will ultimately prove decisive, but also insists that despite sky-high expectations of rookie Kimi Antonelli, it is crucial the young Italian driver has time to develop in F1. Most important is to manage expectations, the 53-year-old told media. Everybody's going to think he's going to be on pole in Melbourne and win the race, and as much as we would dream for that to happen, most important is to let him develop. One defining characteristic of Andrea Kimi Antonelli's career so far has been his raw speed. At every stage, whether transitioning between karting levels, making the massive jump from karts to Formula 4, or bypassing Formula 3 entirely to go straight to Formula 2, he has adapted with remarkable ease. No matter the car, Antonelli has an innate ability to find the limit almost immediately, often exceeding the expectations of his engineers. Fine-tuning that speed into consistent race-winning performances can take longer, but the raw pace is always there. So where does this natural speed come from? "I think it's because I drive a lot by feeling and instinct," Antonelli explained. "Every time I jump into a car on a new track, my main focus is to go as fast as possible right away. When I feel comfortable with the car, I gain a lot of confidence to push it to the limit. It's something I've had since a very young age, to be on it from the very beginning." While driving a 2-year-old car to comply with F1 testing regulations, Antonelli has reportedly exceeded expectations. Those test performances played a crucial role in reinforcing Wolff's belief that Antonelli is ready for the sport's highest level. For Antonelli, however, the journey is far from complete, as his feelings are that the car will keep delivering more and more, and he wants to maximize everything without pushing it too far. So, why did Mercedes ultimately choose Antonelli? Hamilton's unexpected departure left them scrambling for a replacement. There were other options. Wolff has long been interested in Max Verstappen, and there were even rumors of contact around the Monaco Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso was another possibility, but he extended his contract with Aston Martin. Antonelli was always in the conversation, but the initial plan was for him to spend a year at Williams before potentially moving to Mercedes. Carlos Sainz was another contender, but Mercedes wasn't keen on a long-term contract. They could have gone with Esteban Ocon, a driver with close ties to the team, or even brought back Valtteri Bottas for a short-term stint. Reserve drivers like Mick Schumacher and Frederick Vesti were also options. Ultimately, Mercedes chose to invest in the future, making Antonelli a key part of their long-term vision. Having nurtured his development for years, they wanted him in F1 as soon as possible. The team even requested an FIA waiver to allow him to race in Formula One at just 17 during the 2024 season. Now, Antonelli is set to make history. Another bold step in a career defined by rapid ascension and undeniable talent. How do you think Antonelli will perform? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.